This is my mock interview for CPSP 220. First question.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a sophomore accounting major at the Robert H. Smith School of Business at the University of Maryland. I am also in the Business Society and Economy College Park Scholars Program. This is a 2-year living and learning program where we take classes together and we do all this. We do different community service activities and different networking events and things like that. I also just got admitted into the Business Honors Program. This allows me to take smaller classes for the upper level business requirements. These classes are more seminar based instead of lecture based, and I'm very excited about that opportunity. The first class starts next semester. I also had 2 summers ago. I had a summer internship at an accounting firm. At this firm, I did it was a tax internship, so I did 941 depository receipts, quarterly payroll taxes, and other things like that. Last winter, I also went on the inaugural Leadership Institute, and I'm very excited. This year, I will be one of the 2 coordinators for this retreat.
That's interesting. Tell me more about the Leadership Institute.
The Leadership Institute is a 6-day leadership retreat over the winter term. The lessons are, there's a set curriculum, which is lessons-based and activity-based learning. And I personally develop techniques and strategies to enhance my management skills, collaboration techniques, and my establishment of my own personal goals. I actively participated in this retreat, and I was selected to be one of the on-site coordinators for this winter. So I'll be one of the faculty for the Smith School. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a great opportunity. And recently we've been working on marketing techniques, and we just admitted all the students for the retreat.
What do you want to be known for?
I want to be known for developing strong relationships, by making others smile and getting my work done effectively and in a timely manner. After obtaining my accounting degree, I want to do consulting or audit work. These jobs will require lots of communication among coworkers and clients. I want to be known as a person that is well liked in the office, that is able to solve any client's need. I also want to make others happy, and this will find meaning in my life, and I'll feel successful.
Tell me about a creative approach you took to solve a problem. How did you come up with this approach? Did you consider any other options?
So last year, there was this a piece of my basketball hoop fell off, where we needed to put it on top of it, which is about 15 feet high. It's really high up, and we didn't have a ladder at my house. So I was thinking, how can we put this piece on top to prevent the rain from getting into the pole and it'll rust the entire pole, and we would have to replace the whole basketball hoop, which would cost about $1,000. So at first I tried climbing up the pole, and that didn't work. It was too slippery. It wouldn't work. I couldn't climb the 10 feet. So I decided, what can I put next to the pole that will make me able to climb up onto that and then climb up to the top? So I decided I put my trash can right next to it, and this allowed me to get up about 6 feet up. So then I would barely be able to reach the top of the 15-foot pole to put the piece on the top. This approach was very successful, and I was able to prevent the basketball hoop from rusting.
Tell me about a time when you had the lead role in managing a student project.
But currently, I'm taking a global mindset class. It's partnered by Ernst & Young, and in this class, we have to do a consulting project for a company if they want to expand globally. So my group's project is our company's Costco, and we're deciding whether they should expand or not to expand into China. And I was the designated group leader for this project, and so I'm responsible for contacting our Ernst & Young mentor, and I have to email him and ask him about suggestions or questions, and also I'm in charge of our presentation, what we want the project to be, because it's an e-presentation, so we have to decide what we want to do to deliver our project. And we ended up finishing our presentation well before the due date, so I feel like this was part of partly because of me, because I was able to set a great schedule, and so we were able to get things done in an effective manner.
Tell me about a difficult decision you've made in the last year.
So within the last year, I decided to invest more of my money in instead of just keeping it in the bank. So in previous years, I was investing in small stocks, and I was successful with this, but I didn't want to invest a huge majority of my money, a major part of my money with just stocks. So this year, I decided that I was going to research a bunch of different investment firms and see where I could place my money, and because I really didn't want the low bank rates for the low interest rates. So I did all this research and found Vanguard, which they definitely had the best rates in the industry. They were very low, and they also had these growth rates which were perfect for young individuals like me, and because they have high returns because they're more stock based and less bond based. So after much consideration, I decided to open up my Vanguard account, and within the last couple months, the portfolio went up over $500.
How have you worked to achieve your own professional vision?
So I believe that the first time I really thought about my vision professionally was when I went on the Leadership Institute last winter. Because the Leadership's mission is to transform the world by increasing the number of leaders that, like, in this way they would be integrity, and you just like really want to like make the world a different place for the better. So the leadership taught me the important skills of self-reflecting in order to pursue my vision and my purpose in life. And so I've been taking this vision that I created, that I want to really just make the world a better place, and I've just propelled that vision over the last year. And so currently, when I go to accounting networking events, and I can really like see my vision come to reality, because I feel like this will be me in a few years working for one of these companies, and I'm working very hard in school to make this happen also.
Please describe two situations for me. One in which you received very positive feedback on your performance, and one where you received pretty negative feedback. Mm-hmm. What happened in each situation? What did you do, and what was the outcome?
Okay. So last summer I worked at the JCC camp in Rockville, and we have mid-summer evaluations and end-summer evaluations. So these evaluations are given by our unit heads. So my unit head gave me not the greatest evaluation. He said that I wasn't engaging enough with the students. I wasn't taking on the leadership role that I should be as a senior counselor. So I saw this feedback from him, but I didn't fully understand what he meant by some of it, because I've been getting really good feedback from the campers. The campers are always every day saying, "Oh, you're my favorite counselors. I'm so excited to do this activity. I'm really happy that you're in my group," and things like that. So I realized that the reason why he might have given me this feedback was because when he was present at the time, I would let him take the charge, because I thought he was a unit head, but in reality he wanted me to be in charge the entire time, and he wanted to be on the outskirts. While when he wasn't there, I was taking the charge, and but he never saw that. So I changed by just making sure whenever he was available at the time, that I would still be in charge of the group of kids and be the leader in the group as the counselors. And so by the end of the summer, my evaluation improved significantly, and they want to hire me back for next summer also.
Tell me about a time when you made a big mistake.
So last semester, I had an interview for an accounting externship position at one of the large firms. So this was the first interview I've ever had. So I was a little nervous about how I'm gonna go into it. What's the questions are they gonna ask and things like that. So I signed in at the Career Services Center, and I sat down next to a few of the firm's employees that were there. They were there to just greet the interviewees and to answer any questions. So I didn't realize that one of the Deloitte, one of the members of the firm were there also. Like I didn't realize that all of them were part of the firm. So I asked one of the employees if what position he's applying for, and this was a really big mistake. I really regret it after asking that question, because he kind of got offended. He said, I work for this firm. I'm not applying for any positions. So I realized that I ended up not getting the position, but I realized that whenever I meet someone, I have to introduce myself and not make any quick assumptions of what they are, and then just don't ask. Let them tell them about themselves before like asking them. I like making the assumptions instead.
Can you describe a time for me when you managed your stress really well despite difficult conditions?
A few weeks ago, I was very busy. I had a few tests that week. I had 2 tests that week. I had a paper due in one of my classes, and I had to review all the leadership applications. So I ended up having to manage my stress by prioritizing my time well. I made sure that I wrote the paper well before the due date, and I started studying for the tests an entire week before they occurred. And so I ended up doing really well on the 2 tests and the paper. And I found out that the best way that I can manage my stress personally is to make sure I prioritize my time. I have to whenever I'm extremely busy, I have to make sure that I can balance my time in the manner to get everything done effectively.